Paul. Right, let's reflect on events at the Etihad this afternoon. No great surprise here. Manchester City are through to that fifth round draw, which will be coming your way on Monday evening. They've beaten Salford City by 2-0. Not quite the 8-0 we saw in the third round last season, Merce. We should just say for Salford City, they gave a much, much better account of themselves this year than last.
Oh, 100%. 100%. When they go 1-0 down to a Donaldson own goal...
You're thinking how many,
You're thinking how many is going to be, but never the case. Bar the last 10 minutes when they started bringing on all the big boys, then it got a little bit, they got tired, and rightly so, and then they were hanging on. But up to that, it tells you everything that they had to bring on the players. They had to, like, Gay, Semenyo, Rodri. Do you know what I mean? So it tells you how well that Salford done. That I thought they were absolutely amazing. If they can take that form into the rest of the games in League Two, I'm sure they get promoted. They were very, very good.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Before we talk about City, last year in the third round, they were in decent form, and then really their league form fell away after that punishing defeat. They'll take away a much different experience today, Carl Robinson.
Oh, 100%. And all of them played well. Every one of them. You know, none of them had a nightmare. They were all absolutely outstanding, and to a man. And yeah, the goalie didn't even really have to do a lot. It weren't like the goalie was man of the match. He didn't make save after save, even though he looks a very good young goalkeeper. But yeah, they'd be well pleased with that. I know it's 2-0, but at the end of the day, if you can come away from there getting beat 8 last year and owning 2 this year, that puts them in great stead for the last 12 or so games of the season.
Yeah, League One Exeter City, as you'll probably remember, in round 3, lost at the Etihad a few weeks ago by just a 10-0. Next up, back to Merson, talk about things from a Manchester City point of view. 9 changes. We'd expect a lot of changes going into this game against the League 2 side today. Of the fringe players, you've got an opportunity today. Anyone stand out?
Not really. No, not really. I didn't think so. I thought they made it really difficult for them, Salford. You know, sometimes you watch the Premier League and players get on the ball and they put their foot on it and they look here and they look there and then they pass it. Salford didn't do that today. Salford got in about them, closed them down, made them work really, really hard. No one really shone. No one shone, but good professional performance. Made sure they got the job done.
Josh Stone's first start since the end of November because of yet more injury problems. How did he look overall?
Who's that, sorry?
John Stones.
John Stones, yeah.
Did I say Josh? I did, didn't I? Sorry for confusing you there.
But that wasn't
Jonathan Stones, how did he play?
He done all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a Rolls Royce of a centre-half. I really do. I think he's a top centre-half. Makes everything look very, very easy when he's on top of his game. Yeah, and he didn't do anything wrong today. But, yeah, I think the stars of today are Salford, if I'm being honest. I know they lost 2-0, but to come here after getting beat 8 last year, they must have had to kick them off the bus.
And a week today, it's going to be very interesting, isn't it? Because next up for them is Newcastle United at home. But, of course, before that, Arsenal go in the live game midweek against Wolverhampton Wanderers, where the gap could be back up to 7 points again. Yeah,
and that's massive. You know, if Arsenal go and beat Wolverhampton Wanderers, then all of a sudden it's 7, and then Man City have to win. A draw's no good against Newcastle because it'll be 6 points. And then Arsenal play Tottenham, which, you know, I believe that's going to be a very difficult game. I don't think it's a give me like a lot of people do. If they win that, they're going to be 9 points clear. They'll have a game in hand, but that's another 2 games gone and 3 for Arsenal. So it all could happen in the next week. I think next week's very, very big week.
Big.
Looking for the word.
I thought you were going to say something else, Merce. But
Pivotal.
Pivotal. Oh, OK. There it is.
There it is.
Pivotal.
There it is. Bang.
Right, just to remind you of that game, you can see it midweek, that big game there between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Arsenal. It is live for you, Sky Sports Premier League, this coming Wednesday. So you can see it live with us this coming Wednesday. There it is, as if by magic. 7:30, we're underway. Sky Sports Premier League for the third time of saying. Right, let's reflect on events at Carrow Road. For the first time since 2022, Norwich City are into the 5th round of the FA.
Yesterday's show, I think it was yesterday's show. They just keep throwing City a bit of a bone, don't they? And I think that's what Nathan's touching on. They're not 8 points, 9 points clear. I mean, you look at some of the draws. Sunderland, they gave up a 2-1 lead late on. All right, they're a tough side. Sunderland, good side in the Premier League, particularly at home. A lot of physicality. Forest, who have been struggling, well documented, sacked the manager again. There was a draw at the City Ground against a struggling team. The defeat at Manchester United, at home to Manchester United. Was it the draw against Liverpool they had? And then the draw at Brentford, which I agree, Brentford are playing some really, really good stuff. But they'd won there the last 4 seasons, Arsenal. And so they're just not stretching that gap out at the moment. And when you don't stretch it out and the other team keep plodding along and winning, as City did the other night against Fulham, you can get a little bit restless in the dressing room. Now, a 4-point gap is still a decent gap, but it's not insurmountable. If you're in that City dressing room and it's 7, 8 and 9 points, you're demoralised because you're in that dressing room, you're thinking, you know, Manchester City, that is, we're going to have to win every single game because we're never going to catch 9 points. They're not going to lose 3 or 4. And even if they lose 3 or 4, we're going to win every game, which we know this City side are not going to do. But at 4 points, that's just a little bit different, Stevie.
After the game the other day, after the Brentford game, I was thinking, you know what, could Arsenal actually bottle this? But then 24 hours later, I look at the big picture. It still means City have to win every game. And so that's not going to happen. And so I think maybe it's just a case of Arsenal are not as consistent as they should be for what they have. On paper, they are the best team, there's no question. And for the squad they have. But for some reason, they're kind of 7.5 out of 10 all the time. You know, a real... the best team that wins the Premier League should be at least 8.5, week in and week out, and maybe lose the odd game, or maybe drop the odd point. You can't argue that Arsenal are dropping way too many points, but they're still 4 ahead, and it still means that they have to win. We have to lose. They're going to have to lose at least 3. In my opinion, they're going to have to lose probably at least 4 games between now and the end of the season.
But draws, Stevie, it could be draws.
It could be. So, no, I think, yes, 4 points doesn't look as good as 6 or 9 or whatever it was, but I still think that it really big time is in their hands.
I mean, they're slightly worrying in some of the games, and they are, look, by far the strongest squad. There's no doubt about it. And again, one of the things we talked about with Julian yesterday, which he was equally unworried about, was Gyökeres. And it's not just that Gyökeres is unconvincing. It's the fact that, again, we discussed this yesterday. Even just take this game in isolation against Brentford. Have a good think about how many chances Arsenal created for Gyökeres. I can hardly think of one. So it's not that he's missing chances all the time. It's the fact that they're not creating them. In fact, Brentford and Thiago, who's having a great season, they were so much more of a threat. He was so much more of a threat to the Arsenal centre-halves than Gyökeres was to the Brentford centre-halves. So I think at times they're going to have to figure that out. Julian said it's going to be horses for courses, depending who plays. If it's Gabriel Jesus, whether it's Gyökeres, whether it's Kai Havertz, my God, whether it's Mikel Merino up there, who's done as good a job as some of the strikers. But ultimately, Gyökeres was brought in as 60 to 70 million, number 9, to score goals. And he's not doing that, and hence Arsenal are not running totally clear at this moment.
I think that's a bit of a guise, though.
What?
Julian, it's horses for courses. The fact is, whether it's...
It wouldn't be if he was scoring.
It wouldn't matter. Yeah, it wouldn't be if he's scoring, but he's not. And the fact is that they don't have a centre-forward that's scoring goals. And whether it's Jesus, whether it's Gyökeres, whether it's Havertz, whoever it is, they're not creating chances for whoever the centre-forward is anyway. So, I'm not sure... I don't like the horses for courses, but I don't think it matters who they're playing through the middle, quite frankly, because the goals that they will get will be simple ones, but they won't get that many because Arsenal don't create enough for them.
It's sort of managers.
Let him go because he's absolutely freezing.
It's one second.
It's Friday night involved.
No, keep him. It's sort of manager speak here because listen. If Gyökeres was scoring every game, goal a game, and he was firing them in, then all this horses for courses chat about when they're playing a big physical team, they'll play Gyökeres. When they're playing somebody that'll sit deeper, they might play Havertz or Jesus. If Gyökeres was scoring every week, it wouldn't matter who they were playing. Exactly. He plays every week.
Shall we see if we can count to 100 in Spanish?
Okay.
Yeah. See?
Nathan, we're going to let you go. We know it's Friday night.
Oh, thank you so much.
We know you're freezing.